What's up, YouTube? It's Laker. I'm back with another video. Um, I'm going to kind of piggyback off the title of the video from last week, which was the spiritual upgrade through the silence. I'll tell y'all a little story. So this past weekend, I was having an issue, so to speak. And so I came outside and I was just talking to the Most High, and I had asked him for something specific in that moment. And I can't say that I was demanding, but I definitely said what I needed, and I needed it now, right? And so, lo and behold, he must have heard me, because the spot where I was sitting at, I went to get up to, come back to the house. And lo and behold, it was this beautiful woman that I normally see. I see her almost every day. We just wave and we just keep it pushing. We never spoken any words. We never said anything, right? So as I'm getting up, she just introduced herself to me, and we introduced ourselves to one another, and the conversation just kind of took off, and it just was so shocking that this beautiful soul that I had just met, that I see every day and haven't spoken to, is on the same frequency and wavelength that I was. So anyway, we struck up a conversation and we were able to talk, and the words that she gave me was so encouraging and so much confirmation that I needed at the time, where it was not a coincidence. And y'all already know I always said nothing happens by coincidence. Nobody you meet or any encounters that you have, nothing is by coincidence. So anyway, so I'm saying this because there is something greater and something more vast than what we have known to believe that is at play here. I mean, what is the odds of me asking for something so specific, and within a matter of seconds, guys, that this person was put in my path to help me get through this day. So I did meet a good friend. I'm not gonna call her a good friend, but someone who is definitely vibrating at a level that I can get down with. And that was one of my issues of coming back to the Midwest, is that once you put in so much growth and experience in life, sometimes when you try to come back somewhere where you originally from or whatnot, and you try to get with your old circle, the connection is not there, because some people grow, some people don't. Some consciousness expands and some don't, and I've been having a hard time of finding, people who are awakened to, share my journey with, and possibly be able to help them out, and vice versa. So that was just so amazing for me. I am very thankful to the universe and the Most High for sending her and putting her in my path, especially at that particular time. Also, I was out and about, and then I went to a store. And while I'm in this store, I get what I need, and I'm heading back to the car. And I get in the car, and you remember when I told y'all, like in a couple videos back, that the Most High have a certain way where he'll communicate with me that if something is off, if somebody trying to, send me bad energy or give me some kind of warning or whatnot. So anyway, the way he communicated with me, it happened again as I was getting in the car, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. So I just stopped in my tracks, and I'm just like, okay, something is off. There's a warning, or something is happening in this moment. So I stopped and I paid attention, and guess what, y'all? I left my purse in the cart. So me just being able to be tuned in and paying attention to my surroundings, I was able to get the warning, take heed of the warning of what was going on, and I was able to, retrieve my purse out of the cart. And I was just like, oh. In that moment, I just said, thank you, thank you, just to let my spirit team know, y'all, that, hey, I'm rolling and I'm rocking with y'all. I'm hearing y'all. I'm doing my best to stay in tune. And then also just to be grateful in the moment that I'm able to get those warnings and get those, downloads, because it's just something greater that's guiding us, y'all, every step of the way. No matter how we feel, if we feel like we're alone, or, the Most High don't hear our prayers, or, whatever the case may be, we are definitely not alone, y'all. We're not alone. We just got to be still enough, tuned in enough to hear it, and to just get those messages and downloads. And that is, like, in itself what I was explaining in my last video about the spiritual upgrade through the silence. So anyway, I was super proud of myself that I was able to, lock in with that realm on a whole different note over the weekend. And that's just 2 encounters that happened just over a short weekend. So anyway, so what I wanted to discuss is, when we have something that we are asking for, the universe has a way of saying, yes, you can have that. I'm willing to, deliver this to you. But guess what? In order for us to get some things, I'm not going to say all things, but some things that especially holds a lot of weight, you got to go through a process. First and foremost, the Most High ain't going to give you no blessing, or no, He's not going to give you anything that you can't hold, right? And He definitely not going to give you something for you to say, I got it, and now, you forget all about the Most High, and that ego get the best of you, So you definitely going to be tested in a way to say, all right, if I give you this, are you going to forget about me? Because we, as humans, we sometimes have a bad habit of saying, we want this, we want that. And then when we get it, those prayers stop. The worship stop, and I ain't going to say stop, but they will slow down. And then it's like, you no longer need to depend on the Most High for, your well-being. And so it's going to be a testing season to test your endurance, your resilience, and then your faith. And your faith is going to be stretched beyond what you think you can even handle. It's been days and times where I be like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take another step. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take another breath, But guess what? I'm still here. I'm still standing 10 toes down. And I'm making this video, so y'all already know, like, I'm in it for the long run. And I know that everything that I have endured and persevered through is going to pay off, in the long run. The Most High always want to seek our obedience, you know what I mean? And sometimes His obedience is definitely going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone, because what you asking for, sometimes what we ask for, it holds a lot more weight than what our little minds can think of, you know what I mean? And so we just got to think of it this way. How can you call yourself a leader or to guide others, and you haven't walked that path. You haven't experienced anything. So at the end of the day, when it's all is said and done with, you gotta walk that walk in order to talk that talk. So at first, sometimes we have a spirit of resentment, like, why is this happening? Why can't I just, get what I want? It seems like others is just getting what they want, but what we see is they're all of a sudden, they all of a sudden got a platform. They all of a sudden got, whatever the case may be. That's what we see. But we don't see the spiritual warfare that happened beforehand. We don't know about that hard road or path that, people have taken. So with that being said, we just got to stay, encouraged, because one day we going to have our all of a sudden. It's going to look all of a sudden to somebody else, but they ain't going to know exactly, what you've been through to get to that part, and we just got to stay focused, stay aligned with the Most High, stay in tune. And as I stated before, although that vision tarried, wait for it, because it will surely come, and it's going to come, y'all. I really just wanted to share that story with y'all, because I know, like, in my heart, I knew I was being upgraded spiritually to be tuned in. I had little experiences here and there, what I'm saying, but to this extent over the past weekend, I definitely stand 10 toes down on, the spiritual upgrade through the silence. And that brings me to say, when we think that the Most High ain't moving and nothing is happening because our external 3D reality hasn't changed, y'all, He's definitely working on it, behind the scenes, lining things up for us. And then also, you got to work on your vessel first, you know what I'm saying? So when the time comes that your 3D reality do change, you're going to be the vessel that can hold and sustain what He's going to bless you with. And those of us who, are wanting to make an impact and help other people, we definitely going to go through a period of time where we're going to be tested. And I'm talking about tested to the highest magnitude. Because not only is the Most High, choosing you to be trusted with, pretty much other souls, not in your, like possession or nothing like that, but to trust you to lead other souls to go in the right direction and be able to uphold them and lead them and encourage them. You got to walk that walk in order to talk that talk, because that person that you're trying to help or whatnot, they could look at you and say, girl, please, you ain't blah 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 blah. But for those who come across your path and they feeling down or discouraged, and when you've already walked that walk, you're able to talk that talk and let them know, hey, I've been exactly where you at. Let me tell you my story, and then for them to be able to see what you have came through, it's more than likely that that person will be able to listen, take heed, learn, and grow from it. You know what I mean? It's not an easy mission to be on, but it is very humbling to be able to be on a mission to that magnitude. Again, I don't know exactly how everything is going to unfold, and go down, and the Most High is always full of surprises. You know what I'm saying? It's like Forrest Gump. You never know what you're gonna get. Life is like a box of chocolates. That's for sure. But I know that it's gonna be great. It's already being great. I'm also learning how to tune certain things out. What you consume, what you listen to. The people who you talk to, we got to pay attention to that, y'all, because it is very imperative that you pay attention to how your body feel, y'all, when you're around certain people, when you talk to certain people. If you're feeling heavy after you talk to somebody or drained or whatnot, you might want to just take a few steps back. I'm not saying you got to cut people off or nothing, but you might want to just take a few steps back, because people will try to discourage you or not really encourage you in the right way, and not intentionally, some intentionally, but some not intentionally. And just gotta pay attention to y'all, to what you consuming and who you consuming it from. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here, share what happened to me over the weekend, and make this video before I got my day started. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. The content is going to continue to come. I want to thank y'all for everybody who tuned in and subscribed. And I love y'all. Stay blessed. And, stay 10 toes down. Bye.